one do sajdat as-sahu, or the prostrations of forgetfulness. Now, when is it done? The prostration of forgetfulness is done when in one of three reasons. Okay, so one of three things. Number one, you forgot something that is a wajib. So if you forget a sunnah, there is no sajdat sahu, right? If you forget to recite a surah after Fatiha, no sajdat sahu. If you forget a rukun, okay, then you need to go back and do that rukun. You cannot do sajdat sahu. If you forget a wajib accidentally, so for example, sitting down in the second rak'ah out of 3 or 4 rak'ahs, instead of sitting down, you stood up. Or when you went into sajda and your mind was preoccupied and you didn't say Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, and you just went into sajda, then you went back up, then you realized, oh, I forgot to say Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. So number one, if you forget a wajib, okay, you can make it up with sajda sahu. Number two, when you add something that you should not have added, when you increase, when you do something you should not do. So for example, you did a ruku', you went back up, and then you accidentally did another ruku'. Then you're like, oh, I already did the ruku', but okay, you've done the ruku'. So you did 2 ruku'as per rak'ah. Or you did a sajda, and then again your mind is preoccupied, you did the second sajda, then you did the third sajda, okay? Or for example, you prayed 4 rak'at, and instead of sitting down on the 4th, you stood up and you're like, and you finished the 5th rak'ah. So you added an entire rak'ah, then you realized, oh, I added a rak'ah. So the second scenario is when you add something that you should not have added. And the third scenario is when you are confused about how many rak'at you have prayed. So you are in the 3rd rak'ah or the 2nd, and you're confused. Is this the 2nd or the 3rd? Or is this the 3rd or the 4th? And you don't know, you really are unsure. So, what do you do in that case? You choose the lesser of the two. That is, if you are totally unsure. If you think about it and then you say, oh no, this is the 3rd rak'ah and I'm fairly confident it's the 3rd rak'ah. Okay, if you are pretty much, it's called ghalabat al-dhann. If you're pretty certain that it is the 3rd rak'ah, then you go with it and you ignore the minor doubt. But if you're very uncertain, or you're totally uncertain, in this case, you will pray based upon the lower of the two. So if you're doubting between 3 and 4, you will assume it's the 3rd, and then you will pray as if it's the 3rd, you will add a 4th, and then you will do sajdat as-sahu.